The reason I buy XRP every single day is very simple. It's because I personally believe they've got themselves a very solid system that's basically going to overtake almost any other single crypto out there. And I know that XRP currently is already in the top 5. It's actually already number 4. So there's not that much more room to grow, right? Well, I still believe that XRP is actually going to become the number 1 highest volume crypto out there. Oh, it actually just went to the number 5 position, but that would still be absolutely huge. Because even Bitcoin's volume right now is about 5-6 times as large. But I think the numbers are going to way outdo that. I personally think by about 10, 20, or even 30-fold. But to accommodate the huge amount of volume that's set for the XRP ledger through so many partnerships, so much utility, we have discussed this for a while now, but Ripple and I guess independent units on top of the XRP ledger in the XRP ecosystem have been building. And again, there's been a lawsuit for the last couple of years, but these guys have not been sitting quiet. If you've not done it yet, guys, make sure you press that like button right now if you're also an XRP holder, because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. I never make a video to try and make you buy XRP. I make these videos for people that are already currently holding, and if I make somebody change their mind about it, hey, so be it. But these videos are not financial advice. I'm just sharing my thoughts about my investment. And as of this point, a large portion of my portfolio is XRP for reasons I'm sharing with you guys again. Ripple's potential VASP and EMI license will be a game changer in the EU, and here's why. Well, like I was just trying to say, for XRP to get to the number 1 volume, there's quite a lot that's got to happen. But for the most part, I think right now the wheels of the chuka have been already set into motion. The train has left the station, like Rosa Rios said, where the most important licenses are being granted. The most important regulation, like the one in the US, is being granted. And in my own humble opinion, I think the partnership section, mostly from the CBDC side, has also started. Take a look at this. There are about 200 countries in the world. James says that's a Ripple employee. 5 have been announced, these central bank partnerships. 5 have not been announced. Conversations with 20 more. And if the conversations turned into signed deals, that is 30 out of 195, or about 15% of the world, of all the world's countries, working on the XRP ledger. Again, I think even at this point, the numbers are already quite staggering. That Ripple, again, being an overgeneralization, but let's just call it Ripple, inking deals with 10 out of the 200 countries in the world to run CBDCs on the XRP ledger. The most prominent one being the one in Palau, as that's the most recent and most hyped up. But we also have got wind of Hong Kong, right, from a little bit earlier, which has become a pretty big crypto hub. And like we described before, in Japan, I believe I shared this with you guys yesterday. Over in Japan, Ripple was in talks to mostly facilitate for these banks the cross-border transfer, easier payments. Because at the end of the day, if you want to come into a country, and this is Brad Goliath from 2018 explaining this, but it's pretty hard to convince banks to change their already working frictionless, even though there is still friction, but not noticeable or not annoying enough, system with ACH internally basically within a country. It's just not that bad, except for in Japan. In Japan, I believe 63 banks or so, or something like that, we're already on to Ripple in the sense of, hey, we're pretty interested in even working on this on a national level. And that was like 5 years ago. I really keep thinking, right? Many people point out in the comment section, Dusty, all this is great, but why is the price not up? And one of my best counter arguments is, or I guess statements I got to reflect back to you guys is, these sectors, the banking sector, changes every half a century, every 50 years or so. And I really honestly believe that a lot of the deals that Ripple signed 5 years ago, maybe even 6-7 years ago already, will only come to full fruition in a couple years from now, which I know is not what you want to hear. You want to hear tomorrow, today, tomorrow. But it's the truth behind these longer-term, game-changing investments. Think about it, guys. How long did it take for Bitcoin to get to $1 trillion? Well, pretty significant amount, right? But how long will it take to, I'm not even sure if Bitcoin actually hit $1 trillion, maybe only 800 billion. I'm just talking about crypto. But how long will it take to go from 1 to 100 trillion? I think, even though it's the same time, it's a relative pretty big difference, right? It's 100 times as much, yet I think it might only take the same amount of time now. with XRP, Ripple, and things that they're building right now, I'd say again, the initial start is probably going to take a significant amount of time. But let's just call it this first hurdle. Once it's crossed, I think the next 10x from there is pretty quick. And in a similar fashion, I think the moment that the XRP run starts now, I already believe the Bitcoin bull run is here, and in that term also the crypto bull run is here. The moment that Bitcoin pops off, because it's been at one of the most boring periods ever, it is also going to be exponentially crazy for the XRP price. And today I'm not even screaming about it, right? Usually I go and shout at your face to say, hey, XRP is gonna do so amazing. But let's be serious here on a complete serious note. The reason I put my hard-earned money into it is because I honestly believe my story and that great things take time. You gotta, keep coming back to water your plants, but eventually those freaking plants will harvest you some beautiful strawberries or whatever you like. To continue on, whenever I hear Elon Musk speak, I get more and more convinced we're on the right path. Because if you really start thinking about it, the current financial system won't hold up. And I've been thinking, philosophizing so much about where should I place more money. My friends have tried to convince me to open brokerage accounts, which I've actually done now. I'm going to get a little bit more into stocks and whatnot. Not because I think it will outdo my investments, but just to spread money around basically a little bit more. And also because of Elon Musk's words, he really made me think. Elon Musk says he will execute on his 22-year plan to make X the most valuable financial institution in the world. And the funniest part about this all is, X, rebranding Twitter at least, has only been live for a week. How long has X really been in existence? That's hard to say because he started X a while ago, then left it in a low pit of fire, and then once he purchased Twitter, the parent company became X quite quickly. But let's just say it was started a couple months ago, right? The initial plan with buying Twitter, all that. Can you guys just see now that nobody expected this to come? And all of a sudden, boom, it was there and it's taken over. And Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, plans to make this the biggest thing out there. I mean, this is what I keep thinking about with XRP as well. But similarly with other technologies out there, we don't know what we don't know. And I think it takes a wise man to understand that even right now, you don't even know the proper investment to make because it does not yet exist. That's one part about it. But the most important part about it is you don't understand what's about to come because, first of all, the rails have not even been set fully. We talked many times about the train has left the station, I know. But that's for most of the fundamental parts, right? But that's still only going to get XRP to, let's just call it, $30 billion. That's like huge, I know, but it's not to that next level. When people talk about these crazy XP price predictions, they talk about something which a lot of us can't properly fathom because, again, changing the entire financial system has not been done in 100 years. Or you might argue, well, the banking system was changed lastly about 40 years ago, but real change, for example, the dollar being dethroned and the US not being just a powerhouse and going up every single year after year after year. Yeah, that's not been seen for 100 years, but things are changing. And X, again, has shown, and potentially that might use XRP, who knows, right? Because of all this coincidence, but X has shown that really things can change so quickly. And Elon has been building this for 22 years, yet only now has it come to fruition, his plans and all these great things. He could have literally been building partnerships, building his companies in a way to set himself up for success only now. And I think, again, back to Ripple, where a lot of the partnerships they've been building for the last 6 years will probably only start shining in a couple years from now or when the rest of the fundamental pieces are set in stone. Can it start? Can the rush start? Yes, it can. Because from almost every single field, we now see Ripple on the NFT sector with major companies partnering up, like Ducati. So that's pretty juicy for the XP Ledger. We've now seen actual central bank digital currencies being launched on the XP Ledger. So that's pretty juicy if you start thinking about it. We know the developer realm is pretty solid. We're thinking of the Hooks Amendment and actually sort of layer 2s or smart contracts on the XP Ledger. So massive expansion on the utility realm from that perspective. We've seen more and more Ripple announcements of the actual banks, like for example, the national banks over in Japan with whatever they want to build. We're seeing it start in every country. Regulation-wise, again, like I said, EU, UK is being set in stone right now. US has already been set in stone for XRP. Yet, to go from this, oh, we got 50 banks, oh, we got, to we've got everything set in stone. We got everything. They've just changed the system to our system now. It takes time. But like I said, and I keep saying this again, I do believe it will come. And I believe, because of the way that Ripple tones things and because of the way things are going, that the majority of it all is actually already set up. I mean, with all the banks that are collapsing out there, all the banks that are closing down, really, they're in need of some change. And I believe Ripple knows this and plays in on it. Again, Ripple releases white paper with U.S. Faster Payments Council. Faster payments from blockchain to crypto are imminent. These guys all know. And again, it's a patient game, but the banking system does not move fast. Like I've said, the moment it does, it might just be the greatest movement of all time.